Singapore is known for its modern skyline, vibrant culture, and bustling streets. But beneath its futuristic charm lies a chilling past. From abandoned hospitals to haunted parks, the Lion City is home to some of the most terrifying ghost stories in Asia. Are you brave enough to explore its dark side? Stay with us as we uncover 10 haunted places in Singapore that will send shivers down your spine. The Yellow Tower. To some, it's just another structure along the scenic coast. But to others, it's a gateway to something much darker. The story dates back to the 1990s when a young woman was brutally assaulted and murdered at the tower. The details of the crime remain shrouded in mystery, but one thing is certain: her spirit never left. Ever since that night, visitors have reported chilling experiences. Some say they've heard soft crying echoing from the tower when no one is there. Others claim to see a shadowy figure standing at the top, watching, waiting, before vanishing into thin air. The Yellow Tower has not only been a site of tragedy, it has invited more. Over the years, several suicides have been reported. Bodies found at the base of the tower, lives cut short under mysterious circumstances. Some believe a dark entity dwells within the structure, luring in vulnerable souls, pushing them over the edge, both physically and mentally. Witnesses have described an overwhelming sense of dread, as if unseen hands were urging them to climb and jump. Narrator. And then, there's the phenomenon known as lost time. Some who ventured too close report gaps in their memory. Moments unaccounted for, waking up disoriented far from the tower with no recollection of how they got there. So, if you ever find yourself walking along East Coast Park at night and see the Yellow Tower standing in the moonlight, turn away. Do not approach. Do not climb. And whatever you do, don't listen to the whispers, because once you do, you may never come back the same. Haw Par Villa. Built in 1937 by the Ah brothers, the creators of Tiger Balm, Haw Par Villa was meant to be a park of morality, a place where traditional Chinese folklore and values could be taught through elaborate, handcrafted statues. But what was meant to be a lesson in virtue became something far more sinister. The park's most infamous attraction, the 10 Courts of Hell, a grotesque and brutal depiction of Chinese afterlife punishments. But beyond the statues, whispers tell of real horrors lurking in the park's shadows. Many claim that Haw Par Villa is cursed, a place where spirits roam freely, where the line between the living and the dead is blurred. Visitors have reported blood-curdling screams at night, shadowy figures lurking behind statues, and an overwhelming sense of dread that tightens around their chests. Some say the spirits of the damned, trapped in the very sculptures meant to depict them, have come to life. Perhaps the most terrifying mystery surrounding Haw Par Villa is the disappearance of its workers. Over the years, several caretakers and night guards have been reported missing, vanishing without a trace. One security guard recounted how he heard whispering voices calling his name, even though he was alone. Another worker found a statue's eyes bleeding red, only for the blood to vanish moments later. Shortly after reporting these incidents, they were never seen again. Then there are the disturbing phone calls. Some visitors claim that after leaving Haw Par Villa, they received strange calls from unknown numbers. When they picked up, all they heard was deep breathing, agonized whispers, or worst of all, their own voice on the other end, repeating words they never said. Haw Par Villa may be a historical site, a place of cultural significance. But as the sun sets, the statues seem to shift, the air grows thick, and the whispers begin. If you dare to visit, be warned. The spirits are always watching. And if you hear your name whispered in the wind, never turn around. White House of Pasir Ris Park. Hidden in the dense, eerie woods of Pasir Ris Park lies an abandoned mansion, cloaked in chilling whispers and ghostly legends. A place so terrifying, even the bravest ghost hunters hesitate to step inside. This is the White House of Pasir Ris Park. Once a grand colonial-style mansion, this abandoned structure has decayed into a haunting relic of the past. Some claim it was home to a wealthy family who mysteriously vanished overnight. Others believe it was a secret cult house, where unspeakable rituals were performed under the cover of darkness. But the most disturbing stories come from those who have dared to enter. Many report hearing disembodied whispers, seeing shadowy figures, and even feeling an unseen force pushing them back as they try to explore deeper. One of the most infamous encounters comes from a group of thrill-seekers who snuck in one night. They claimed to hear the agonizing cries of a woman echoing through the empty halls. One of them swore he saw a figure, a pale woman in white, her hollow eyes staring right through him. And then she disappeared. But the most disturbing part? He felt something cold brush against his skin, as if she had walked right through him. Rumors swirl around a secret chamber beneath the mansion. Some say it was a sacrificial room, littered with bones and strange symbols. Paranormal investigators have reported feeling intense dread upon stepping inside, with cameras malfunctioning the moment they try to record. Perhaps the most terrifying mystery? The disappearances. Over the years, several visitors have vanished near the White House. Some were eventually found wandering the forest, dazed and confused, unable to recall what had happened. Others were never seen again. Coincidence? Or did something take them? Pasir Ris Park's White House remains one of Singapore's most disturbing urban legends. Are the stories merely myths? Or is there something sinister lurking within its walls, watching for its next visitor? Bukit Brown Cemetery, Singapore's most haunted burial ground. Hidden beneath the shadows of Singapore's rapid modernization lies Bukit Brown Cemetery, a forgotten graveyard with a history soaked in mystery, tragedy, and ghostly encounters. Once home to over 100,000 graves, it is now a decaying relic of the past, where the dead do not rest in peace, but instead, they walk among us. Bukit Brown Cemetery was established in the early 20th century, a final resting place for the wealthy and the common alike. However, as Singapore grew, so did its need for space. In 2011, the government announced plans to exhume thousands of graves to make way for a highway, disturbing what had remained undisturbed for nearly a century. Some believe this act awakened something sinister. Locals and paranormal investigators claim Bukit Brown is one of the most haunted locations in Singapore. Those who dare to enter at night report seeing shadowy figures darting between the graves, disembodied whispers calling their names, and the chilling sensation of unseen hands brushing against their skin. One infamous story is that of a taxi driver who picked up a woman from Bukit Brown late at night. She was quiet, her face partially obscured by her long black hair. When he reached her destination and turned to ask for payment, she was gone. Only a lingering scent of decay remained in the air. But the hauntings go deeper than mere ghost stories. Bukit Brown holds the unmarked graves of those executed during the Japanese occupation in World War II. Soldiers, resistance fighters, and innocent civilians were mercilessly slaughtered, their restless spirits forever tied to the land. Some visitors have reported hearing phantom screams and the distant sound of gunfire, echoes of a massacre long past. Those who have entered Bukit Brown with disrespect have allegedly suffered misfortune. Sudden illnesses, car accidents, and even nightmares so vivid they feel real. Is it mere coincidence? Or is it the spirit's way of exacting revenge? As Singapore continues to evolve, Bukit Brown remains a chilling reminder of the past. A past that refuses to be forgotten. So, if you ever find yourself near this forsaken graveyard, be respectful, because you never know who or what might be watching. Neo 2 Estate, abandoned, forgotten, and left to decay, Neo 2 Estate stands as a ghostly relic of Singapore's past. But beyond the crumbling walls and silent corridors lies something far more sinister. Built in the 1970s, Neo 2 Estate was once a bustling public housing estate, home to hundreds of residents. But in the early 2000s, the government reclaimed the land, relocating the residents elsewhere. Why? Because Neo 2 Estate was to be used for military training. But some believe it was abandoned for reasons far darker. Rumors swirled that something unnatural resided in the estate. Locals spoke of eerie encounters, mysterious disappearances, and a malevolent presence that refused to be forgotten. One of the most infamous legends tied to Neo 2 Estate involves the banana tree curse. According to local folklore, a gambler, desperate for luck, performed a forbidden ritual. He tied a red string around a banana tree, summoning a Pontianak, a vengeful female spirit. In exchange for wealth, he promised the spirit an offering. But he failed to keep his end of the deal. Soon after, strange occurrences plagued the estate. Blood-curdling screams echoed through the night. Residents claimed to see a pale woman with bloodshot eyes lurking in the shadows. And those who encountered her were never the same again. The estate's downfall was swift. Residents left in fear, and by 2002, Neo 2 Estate was completely abandoned. But just because no one lives there doesn't mean it's empty. Today, Neo 2 Estate remains a site of military training, but even hardened soldiers refuse to stay there after dark. Some report hearing footsteps in empty hallways, doors slamming on their own, and whispering voices calling their names. Others tell of shadows moving in the windows, of icy hands grabbing them in the dark, and of an overwhelming sense of dread that suffocates anyone who lingers too long. Neo 2 Estate is not just an abandoned site. It's a place of lingering sorrow, of restless spirits, and of fear that seeps into your bones. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, one thing is certain: something unnatural lingers there. And if you ever find yourself standing before the ruins of Neo 2 Estate, remember this: not all who enter make it out the same. The Istana Woodnook, a place of death and darkness. Built in the late 19th century, Istana Woodnook was a lavish palace owned by Sultan Abu Bakr of Johor. Over the years, it became the home of his descendants, including Sultan Ibrahim and his Scottish-born wife, Sultana Helen. The halls once echoed with laughter, The scent of wealth and royalty filled the air. But all of that faded, replaced by sorrow, tragedy, and an eerie sense of the unknown. In 1942, during World War II, Istana Wudnuk was seized by the British and later bombed by the Japanese. The once opulent mansion turned into a graveyard, its grounds soaked in the blood of fallen soldiers. Some say their souls never left, trapped within the walls, forever echoing their agony. But it wasn't just war that tainted this palace. Over the years, Istana Wudnuk became a breeding ground for ghostly encounters. Visitors who stepped onto its grounds reported strange whispers, sudden chills, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched. Some even claimed to see shadowy figures lurking in the corners, staring, waiting. In recent years, urban explorers have dared to enter this forbidden place. What they found was beyond explanation. A burnt doll lying in the corner of a room, strange symbols scrawled onto the walls, and in the dead of night, the sound of footsteps, though no one was there. Some believe the spirits of war victims haunt the ruins. Others say the land itself is cursed. But the most disturbing tales speak of a woman in white, wandering the corridors, her face hidden beneath her veil, searching, waiting for someone to take her place. Would you dare step into Istana Wudnuk? Be warned. Those who enter may never be the same again. Matilda House. Built in 1902, Matilda House was once a grand colonial bungalow owned by the prominent Cashin family. With its sprawling gardens and elegant architecture, it was a house meant to stand the test of time. But as years passed, it became something else entirely, a house of nightmares. By the 1980s, the house was abandoned. But why? Some say the spirits within refused to let anyone stay. Developers attempted to demolish the structure, but workers reported strange occurrences. Equipment malfunctioning, eerie voices echoing in the night, and a force unseen stopping all progress. Security guards assigned to patrol the house have spoken of chilling encounters, disembodied whispers, flickering lights in the dead of night, shadows darting just beyond the corner of the eye. One guard even reported seeing a ghostly woman standing by the window, staring blankly into the darkness. The legend goes deeper. It is said that a powerful curse was placed upon Matilda House. Some believe it was built on sacred ground, angering spirits that predate even the structure itself. Others claim that a dark ritual took place within its walls, trapping restless souls forever. Today, Matilda House has been repurposed as a clubhouse for a modern condominium, yet many believe its sinister presence still lingers. Residents have spoken of strange noises at night, inexplicable cold spots, and the feeling of unseen eyes watching from the shadows. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing is certain: Matilda House is more than just bricks and mortar. It holds a past stained by fear, a history whispered through the wind. And perhaps, just perhaps, if you listen closely enough, you might hear the house whisper back. Raffles Hotel. Built in 1887, Raffles Hotel has long been synonymous with grandeur, hosting royalty, celebrities, and world leaders. But beneath the opulence lies a dark, forgotten past. Many have checked in, but some never checked out. During World War II, Singapore fell to the Japanese, and Raffles Hotel became the scene of unspeakable horror. As the British surrendered, many hotel staff and guests knew what awaited them. Some chose to take their own lives rather than fall into enemy hands. One infamous legend tells of a group of British officers who gathered in the hotel's ballroom, dressed in their finest uniforms, drinking their last toast, before turning their pistols on themselves. To this day, guests and staff report the chilling echoes of gunshots, faint murmurs of a final farewell, and the ghostly figures of men in military attire vanishing into thin air. But not all spirits here are soldiers. The most famous ghost of Raffles Hotel is the Lady in White, a spectral figure seen gliding through the halls. Some say she was once a heartbroken bride, abandoned on her wedding day, who leapt from the upper floors in despair. Others claim she was a servant, mistreated and silenced forever. Visitors who have stayed in her section of the hotel report waking up to a woman standing at the foot of their bed, her face obscured by a veil, her presence accompanied by an overwhelming sense of sorrow. Some of the hotel's suites hold secrets of their own. Reports of lights flickering, objects moving on their own, and even phantom whispers have left many guests too terrified to sleep. In one chilling tale, a guest woke to the sensation of icy fingers running down their spine, only to find the room empty. But if there's one place in Raffles Hotel that even the bravest fear, it's the basement. Once a storage space, it was rumored to be a site of torment during the war. Staff members have reported hearing screams from below, and an eerie presence that makes the air thick with dread. Many refuse to enter alone, fearing they may never return. Raffles Hotel may be a symbol of luxury, but behind its grand facade lies a history soaked in tragedy. So, if you ever stay there, be careful. You might just find that you are not alone. Bedok Reservoir. The horror of Bedok Reservoir began in 2011 when a series of grisly discoveries shocked the nation. Over a short span of months, multiple bodies were found floating in the water. Some were determined to be suicides, while others remained unexplained. The repeated tragedies sparked fear, with rumors spreading that a malevolent force resided within the reservoir, luring unsuspecting victims to their doom. A particularly disturbing case was that of a mother and her 3-year-old son, found lifeless in the reservoir. The case baffled investigators. Was it an accident, or something much more sinister? Locals soon began referring to the reservoir as cursed, believing it to be a portal to the afterlife. One of the most terrifying encounters was reported by a night fisherman. He claimed to have seen a pale figure with hollow eyes staring at him from beneath the water's surface. When he turned away for just a moment, the figure was gone, leaving behind an eerie silence that sent chills down his spine. With its dark history, Bedok Reservoir has become the subject of eerie urban legends. Some say that spirits of the drowned wander the area, searching for new souls to drag into the depths. Others believe in the water ghost curse, an old superstition that claims spirits who perish in bodies of water must claim another victim before they can find peace. Could this explain the bizarre streak of deaths? Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, one thing remains undeniable. There is something deeply unsettling about Bedok Reservoir. Is it merely a tragic coincidence? Or is there something lurking beneath the surface, waiting? If you ever find yourself there after dark, stay vigilant. The next whisper in the wind might not be the breeze, but something far more sinister. Do you dare visit Bedok Reservoir at night? Whether you believe in ghosts or not, These haunted places in Singapore have left many witnesses with spine-chilling experiences they'll never forget. Would you dare visit any of them? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this terrifying journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another chilling mystery. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and maybe keep the lights on tonight.